Hello again, chapter 15. Now the third lesson. I will read the text again and provide the correct answers so you can compare them with your own. Let's start. Follow me or read with me. Sure, you'll use your eyes. Let's start. Course 5, Lesson 45. Oliver Twist, Chapter 15. Oliver's Recovery. Bill Sikes was carrying the wounded Oliver away from the house at Chertsey. Two men and some dogs were following close behind. "It's all up, Bill!" cried Toby Grigg, gasping for want of breath. "Drop the kid and let's show them our heels." At this shrewd advice, Sikes laid the boy in a dry ditch and started to run. The two men and the dogs continued to chase after the robbers. It was a very cold night, however, and the men were more than a little afraid. A short time later, they gave up and went back home. As dawn broke, the weather grew even colder. The mist rolled along the ground like a dense cloud of smoke. The grass was wet, and the wind blew with a hollow moan. Yet still Oliver lay where Sikes had left him. Finally, as morning brought a hard rain, Oliver awoke. He was in pain. His left arm hung heavy and useless at his side. He was so weak that he could barely sit up. Finally, though, he managed to stand and make his way to the road. He spotted a house not far away. As he came closer, he saw it was the same house they had tried to rob. Oliver was in trouble pain. He had no choice but to knock on the door. A servant, Mr. Giles, opened it and gasped. "Here he is! It's one of the thieves, ma'am. It's the one I shot." A sweet female voice spoke next. "Wait here while I speak to Aunt." Moments later, the young woman returned and said that the boy was to be carried up to Mr. Giles' room. Then she sent another servant to get a doctor. "Poor little fellow," she said, noticing Oliver's small size. "Treat him kindly, Giles, for my sake." Giles was gentle indeed, and soon Oliver was resting upstairs. The doctor, a fat, good-humored gentleman, soon arrived. While he was looking at Oliver, two women waited. One of them was Mrs. Maylie, a small old woman who was dressed neatly in old-fashioned clothes. The other was Rose, a lovely girl about 17 years old. She was so sweet and lovely, the air seemed too harsh and rough for her. A thousand lights played about her face. Soon Dr. Losberne came down the stairs to make his report. "He's quiet and comfortable now," he said. "I think you ladies should come up and see him." The two women looked into the room where Oliver was resting. Instead of seeing the rough-faced thief they had expected, they saw a mere child, worn with pain and exhaustion. His wounded arm was crossed upon his chest. His head rested on the other arm. The boy stirred and smiled in his sleep. "What can this mean?" cried the older lady. "This poor child cannot be a robber." "Evil," said the doctor sternly, "comes in many forms." Rose frowned and said, "Even if he has been whacked, think how young he is. He may never have known a mother's love. He may have been treated badly. Aunt, think of this before you let them drag this sick child to a prison. If not for you, I might have been as helpless as this poor child. Have pity on him before it is too late." "My dear love," cried the elder lady, taking Rose in her arms. "Do you think I would harm a hair on this boy's head? Tell me, what can I do to save him from prison, doctor?" Dr. Osborne thought for a few minutes. At last he said, "If you allow me to bully Giles, I think I can manage it. I don't like to do it, for he is a good servant, but you can make it up to him later on." Rose and Mrs. Maylie agreed to the doctor's plan. Dr. Osborne went downstairs and had a long talk with Giles. Eventually, Giles became very confused. He was no longer sure that it was Oliver who had come to rob the house. By the time two policemen came, Giles was not even sure that he had shot anyone. The police went away thinking Oliver had been shot in an accident. They decided he was not one of the robbers at all. After the police left, Oliver tried to tell the doctor and the two women his story. He had to stop often because of pain and lack of strength. Yet finally, in a weak voice, he told them how he had been treated during his short life. The woman felt very sorry for the unlucky boy. Oliver's pillow was smoothed by gentle hands that night. His sleep was peaceful and happy, but Oliver's problems were neither slight nor few. In addition to the broken arm, he had a high fever. This had been caused by the wet and cold to which he had been exposed the night before. Slowly, over the next few weeks, Oliver grew stronger. One day, at his request, Oliver was taken by Dr. Osborne to Mr. Brownlow's house. But now the White House had a "for rent" sign in the window. After making inquiries, Dr. Osborne learned that Mr. Brownlow had gone on a trip to the West Indies. He had left 6 weeks before. Oliver was terribly disappointed. How he had longed to see the old gentleman again. He wanted to tell him what happened the day he disappeared. The idea of clearing his name with Mrs. Brownlow had been on his mind for some time. The thought that Mr. Brownlow should think him a robber was almost more than he could bear. About 2 weeks later, when Oliver was well enough, the woman took him to a country cottage. It was a lovely spot. The little boy, whose days had been spent in crowded, dirty streets, seemed to come alive in this magical place. Here roses and honeysuckle grew around the cottage door. Ivy crept around the trunks of the trees. The garden flowers filled the air with delicious odors. It was a happy time. The boy's days were peaceful and calm. Every morning, a white-headed old gentleman who lived near the church taught him lessons. Oliver learned to read better and to write well. After his daily lessons, he would walk with Mrs. Maylie and Rose. The woman would talk to him of books, or Rose would read aloud for them. In the evening, the young lady would sit down to the piano and sing. On Sundays, they would visit the friendly, clean houses of the working people. At night, Oliver would read a chapter or two of the Bible aloud to Rose and Mrs. Maylie. In this way, 3 lovely, happy months went by. Oliver grew very close to the kind woman who had saved him, and they to him. Now, let's go to the answers. Style answers. Part A. Reading comprehension. Notice here. Note the colors. Okay. I wrote the questions in the same color as the answers in that text. So please look at the color of the question and look at the color in the text. So there you can find the answer. Let's start now. Number one. Why did Sykes abandon Oliver in the ditch? Why did Sykes abandon Oliver in the ditch? Because Toby advised him to escape and Oliver was showing him down. Because Toby advised him to escape and Oliver was slowing him down. Again, because Toby advised him to escape and Oliver was slowing him down. Number two, how did Rose persuade her aunt to have pity on Oliver? How did Rose persuade her aunt to have pity on Oliver? She argued that Oliver was just a child, possibly mistreated, and asked her aunt to have pity. She argued that Oliver was just a child, possibly mistreated, and asked her aunt to have pity. Number three, what plan did Dr. Losberne use to protect Oliver from being arrested? What plan did Dr. Losberne use to protect Oliver from being arrested? He confused Giles until he wasn't sure who the robber was, making the police believe Oliver was innocent. He confused Giles until he wasn't sure who the robber was, making the police believe Oliver was innocent. 4. Why was Oliver disappointed when he visited Mr. Brownlow's house? Why was Oliver disappointed when he visited Mr. Brownlow's house? Because Mr. Brownlow had already left on a trip to the West Indies. Because Mr. Brownlow had already left on a trip to the West Indies. 5. What new life did Oliver experience in the countryside with Mrs. Maylie and Rose? What new life did Oliver experience in the countryside with Mrs. Maylie and Rose? He lived peacefully, studied, read, and enjoyed a loving family atmosphere. He lived peacefully, studied, read, and enjoyed a loving family atmosphere. Part B, vocabulary in context. Match the words with their meanings. Number 1, ditch with E, ditch with E. 2, sternly with B, sternly with B. 3, confused with D, confused with D. 4, pity with A, pity with A. 5, peaceful with C, peaceful with C. So A, number 4, pity. Kindly feeling of sorrow for someone suffering, pity. The meaning is pity. B, in a serious and strict way, it means sternly. 2, sternly. C, quiet, calm, and free from disturbance. Number 5, peaceful, peaceful. D, puzzled, not sure. Number 3, confused, confused. E, a narrow channel dug in the ground. Number 1, ditch. Number 1, ditch. So A, pity. B, sternly. C, peaceful. D, confused. E, ditch. Let's go to part C, true, false, not given. Number 1, the policemen were sure Oliver was one of the robbers. False, false. 2, Rose was a kind girl who felt sympathy for Oliver. True, true. 3, Dr. Losberne was a cruel man who wanted Oliver punished. False, false. 4, Mr. Brownlow had left for the West Indies 6 weeks earlier. True, true. 5, Oliver found great happiness in the countryside. True, true. 6, Dr. Losberne told the police that old Sally had died. Not given. Okay, no information in the text here. Number 6, not given. Dr. Losberne told the police that old Sally had died. Not given. Thanks a lot for today, and we finished from chapter 15 with its 3 lessons. Goodbye.